VAR. Three little letters that seem to have caused, well, a lot of havoc this season in the Premier League, and it has been a shambles since it was first introduced. Now, VAR was a good idea. It's when we brought in goal line technology, it was seen as a very positive step forward, and then bringing in VAR because a lot of people were complaining about offside decisions, potential handball decisions that were just not being picked up by referee or the linesman. So naturally, it did sound like a good idea to bring in VAR. The really sad part is that VAR has not worked since it was actually introduced for the 2018 World Cup. In 2018, it was used for penalty decisions, sort of offside decisions, red cards, and the referee would go over to the monitor, they'd check it out, get the second opinion, make the decision. It just works really well. So when it was announced it was going to arrive in the Premier League, I had sort of no queries, no questions about it. I thought it worked at the 2018 World Cup, so surely it's going to work now. But as I and many other people were very, very wrong. The first concern that people have with VAR is that it has become far too forensic. We see offside decisions all the time being ruled out by just millimetres. Like, seriously, what part of someone's heel is going to give them an advantage when they're running at a defender? It's pathetic. Like, having that sort of millimetre is not really going to give them much of an advantage. And since when has your armpit been a playable part of the ball? Very few times have I ever seen a player, cut the ball's coming, but I put up my armpit to control it. Or, I'm going to put my armpit in front of the defender to just get that bit of advantage. It doesn't work that way. I can't believe that it's gone to this point where it's just so minimal. You just have to be offside by a few millimetres and the goal's ruled offside. A real illustration of how poor VAR has been this season is if you look back to the game in December between Liverpool and Wolves. Lallana had just had a goal allowed because of it was looking into handball. It wasn't handball. Perfect. That is the goal stood very good. Go down to the other end. Wolves have a chance. Johnny makes a run down the wing. He's offside by a millimetre, a few millimetres, probably about a centimetre or something. Plays the ball all the way to the back of the box, and Neto drills it in. Yet, because Johnny was about this much offsides, it was disallowed. Recently I went to the FA Cup game between Chelsea and Nottingham Forest, and it was the first time that I'd ever experienced VAR sort of in the flesh. Sat there as a person in the crowd rather than seeing it on the TV. And there is a huge difference. So when you're sat watching on the TV, you see all the replays, you see all the decisions, you can come up with a logical sort of conclusion in your head of whether you think it's the right decision, wrong decision. But if you're sat in the crowd, you don't have any of that. You just get, if there's a screen, you see the screen and it just says decision pending. They don't show any replays, they don't show nothing, so you're left completely in the dark. So it's really bad. Like, you want to celebrate a goal, but you know that if you celebrate, you're going to maybe look completely foolish because you've been celebrating like a madman, for it to then be disallowed by VAR a few seconds later by what could be a very, very tiny margin. VAR has caused a lot of complaints, and there are calls for it to be not so forensic, and there's even been, like, the FA have said, like, come on, you need to stop making it so forensic. But I think there needs to be actually big changes to the rules when concerning, the use of VAR and what is offside. Like, take that goal, Wolves disallowed goal, for example. Johnny was, by the laws of the game, offside. But a linesman would never pick that up in his life because it is far too marginal for it to ever be sort of spotted by a lino. And even when he did played it right to the back of the box. The ball was played behind the line, back in front of the line of defence before it was drilled in. So it was not like Neto was still, behind the line of defence. He just sort of squared it and he just went in. He played it all the way to the back of the box. There's probably players in front of him when he hit the ball. You know, to me, I don't see how Wolves have had an advantage there. They've not. And I think that is a clear indication that if you are going to be so forensic with the offsides, then there needs to be new rules for the actual offside rule. Now, a lot of you may be thinking that I've gone off the bloody rails here, but genuinely there needs to be change if they want to continue to put in these, sort of forensic, really crap VAR rules. So let's say that goal for me should have stood because he's not only played it behind the line, he's had no advantage whatsoever. So I don't see why in the future goals like that can't be allowed, because he's not the one who's run in on goal and scored. He's played it back and then they've scored. So I don't know. Some people might think it's crazy, but I genuinely think that is how it should be allowed to do. I don't think you should be disallowed a goal just for a few millimetres. And it's just, why does the football have to become so technical and so forensic and so, this isn't Formula 1, things don't have to be to like minimal sort of lengths and stuff. I don't want to know why it has to be like this. Another change that has to take place immediately is the length of VAR decisions, because sometimes it really does take the mick of how long it takes referees. And it's not even the referees making the decision half the time, it's the people in the VAR booth. Why can't they just go to the referee, here's this thing on the grid, we're going to play the clips, it's going to probably take a couple of minutes quicker than the people in the VAR booth who are going to make the decision. I think ultimately the final decision should be down to the referee, and I think that's the way it has to be, and the only way that VAR can work. Also, let's start putting it on the screens in the stadium so fans can actually engage with what is going on. With rugby, you have the TMO, so if you're listening on the TV, on radio, you can hear the referee, you can always engage. And even when you're in the stands and there's a screen, you can watch it, you can make your own decision, and you know what is happening. It's the same in NFL, it's the same in tennis, it's the same in cricket. Why can't football just adapt to this? I don't see why we're trying to push forward to be futuristic and modern, but still be so backwards. So that's all I've really got to say on the matter. VAR really does need changing, and it needs changing fast, because I don't think it will last long. I'm not one of these people who want it to get rid of it completely. I think VAR is a perfectly good thing to have in football. It is modernising the game, and many other sports have it, so it's not like football is all on its own here. I just think it needs to be improved, worked better, and even down to that sort of offside rule that I sort of mentioned. I think there really does need to be change there. So that's all from me in this video. Please let me know what you think about VAR down in the comments below, and of course, if you want to keep up to date with stuff that I'm posting and stuff that I'm doing, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you are informed every time that I upload a video. Make sure to follow my blog down below, also give that a follow so you are notified anytime I put any new content on there. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like. My name's Louis Edwards.